Welcome everybody to our Team Dare to Dream Determination Nation joint team call. I'm Deborah Baska. In case I haven't met you guys, I think I've met most of you, but I'm so happy that you joined us tonight. We are so close to the end of this month. We are so close to the end of our Team Cup Challenge. And I just have to give a shout out to my Team Cup challengers. Casey's on the line. Who is anybody else? We have exceeded our goal. I knew we could do it, but I don't think the ladies knew they could do it. So we've hit over 75 points. So we are at the top prize tier. So we're just really excited about getting a skateboard. I just have to say. But I knew we could do it, and one of the things we've really been working on is dreaming big and setting 10x goals, right? And I truly believe the most memorable thing that I learned at my very first summit when I was sitting up in those nosebleed seats in the MGM Grand Arena, Monica Gray was a top 10 coach, I think, at the time. She walked across the stage and they asked each to tell what their best piece of advice was for coaches in the audience. And she said, always dream bigger than you think you can achieve, because you will always achieve more than you ever thought you could. And that is what I've been doing ever since I became a coach. And my dreams have come true. I haven't hit every single goal with the timeline that I've set. And some goals I haven't hit yet, but I have achieved so much more in this business than I ever thought I could. So, yay! Team Cup Challenge. Finish strong with your health bet challenge. I think we have a huge health bet group. I know in the group that I'm in, and I know a lot of you coaches are also doing your own. That's great. But if you don't have a health bet group set up yet, you're welcome to join into the big team health bet challenge. If it's just you, if it's you plus another customer, anybody, the more the merrier. So there's no reason for everyone not to get involved with this, because it's really, really exciting. That is all I wanted to go over here. I want to get right into the call so we can keep it at our allotted time. But I'm really, really excited. I've really played you up, Ashleen.
No.
Ashleen and I have never met until we were in a group and we were talking about exchanging calls. And so really last night was the first time I got the chance to actually speak with her here on her team call. And here we are tonight. And Ashleen has been a coach for 4 years, and she's an immigrant from Ireland, which I just think is so romantic. She's lived in the U.S. for 5 years. She's a wife and mom to a toddler boy. She's a 5-star diamond in her first CBC, a 1-star in her second. She's a 2-time premier coach, and she's a Success Club legend. She's been full-time at this for 3.5 years. So she's kind of like me, about 6 months after you joined, you became a full-time coach. And she retired her hubby 2 years ago. So that's all I know about her story. There he is. There's hubby. He's like, yay. Does hubby help you with the business, or does he do something else now?
He's actually working on a website for me. So he is doing the business now.
Yeah, so he's your partner. That's awesome. Well, Ashleen is going to talk to us about building your business through building relationships. So take it away. I'm going to, take it away.
Alrighty. Thank you for the intro. I always think it sounds very alien when I hear all that stuff being laid out. I'm like, that's me? I achieved all that stuff? It's just interesting when you find yourself being here over the years. You start to accumulate all these like little titles and achievements and stuff like that. And really, my call is based around my story tonight. So all the nuggets of information are in there. And you're going to see that I'm one of those people that didn't blast out of the gate, that it didn't happen super fast. But that was by no means a predictor of what I or you can do in this business, no matter how fast or slow you start off. So first of all, thank you for being here and giving me your time tonight. My name is Ashleen Caino, and I am from Northern Ireland, as you can probably hear in the accent. I will start at the beginning because you guys are probably like, what the heck have you been doing here, right? So a few years ago, I would say about 6-7 years ago, I went backpacking. I was in Northern Ireland. I just finished university. I wasn't in a great relationship at the time, and I was like, I need to get away from this dude. And I went like literally to the other side of the planet, to India, like as far as you can get from someone. I just went. I needed to go soul searching, and somehow wound up in the United States. And on day 3 of being here, I met this guy here behind me. So it was like all meant to be. It was love at first sight. We did a lot of border hopping and stuff like that. And then we just realized, okay, we love each other. Let's get married and all of that. So there was a little gap in between of us discovering each other and me actually moving here, hence saying I've been here like 5 years, really, with the green card and all that. But I just want to explain a little bit before I dig into how I built my network and so on, because I didn't know anyone from here, right? Before this, when I lived in Ireland, I wasn't into fitness whatsoever. I mean, I was so like, be gone, Satan, right? For me, especially in Ireland, right? You don't see people out running. You don't really see people do sports unless it's just the lads in the park playing football or soccer. It's kind of, you don't really see anyone doing anything because it's always raining. So if someone is like outside, then you're just basically like, oh, what a poser, like completely judge the exercise people. So I was one of those people. I judged, you know, I was smoking cigarettes from 14. I was drinking from a very early age too, because we can drink when we're 18, which means you drink way before that. It's Ireland, no judgments, right? But it just wasn't a healthy lifestyle right from the beginning. I wasn't necessarily overweight, but I wasn't healthy. I was what you would call the skinny fat, I guess, where like you have some flab, 20 pounds to lose, not really any muscle, can't run the length of yourself. That was me. And so at the same time, I really wanted to be in shape. I wanted to be healthy. You know, Britney Spears was like the girl when I was a teenager. You know, the abs, we all wanted those abs, right? And I would do anything. I would try to go to the gym, and the gym just did not work for me whatsoever. I was very low in self-confidence. I have been my whole life. Basically up until recently, very low self-worth. So when I walked into a gym, literally like not knowing what to do, I would be there for like 5-10 minutes and I would get out of breath, get super embarrassed, and I would just leave. And I just hated it. It was humiliating. I don't like going to the gym, even though it's all in my head. You guys probably relate to that a little bit, some of you anyway, because we do at-home workouts, right? So I'm sure I'm not the only one who has that fear of the gym. I tried other things like crazy diets, pills, all sorts of gimmicks off shopping channels. Like there was this like ab cruncher machine where you hold this like machine and you like crunch down like that, and apparently it gives you abs. Like I tried everything, right? But I was clueless and I really didn't know what to do. And so anyway, flash forward to meeting this dude who is like a volleyball guy on the beach playing soccer, and we moved to like the coast and Hermosa Beach, and everyone's just out running, and I'm just like having a meltdown, like, why are all these posers? People are exercising in their bikinis. Like, I couldn't get my head around it, right? I was used to sitting in the pub. But I came to realize that maybe it's me, maybe it's my issues. Maybe I should start trying to actually work on my fitness here and do it the right way. Clearly these people, it's not just about looks. Clearly it's more than that. So anyway, this was during like our border hopping time, and we had just got married. And even though we got married, we got separated by immigration for 5 months while we waited for my permanent residency to come through. So I had to stay in Ireland and he had to stay in the US for 5 whole months. So if any of you have ever been separated from your spouse for even a few days, a week, 2 weeks, a month, maybe longer if you're military, it's a really long time, and it's really, really hard. It's emotional turmoil. It's not a fun time of your life. So we had to sit out 5 months, and from day one of being back in Ireland, I just hit a major depression, big time. And I was saying to myself, what can I do? Like, I need to do something. I need to help myself right now, or this is going to get worse and worse and worse. I'm just going to fall into depression, maybe drink more, who knows what. And I remembered I saw this infomercial in the US with this dude who was jumping around like, dig deeper, people. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to try that because it looks crazy. There's no way you can't get results from that. That was what I thought, right? I thought I would die, but I tried it. And so I downloaded Insanity because I'm in Ireland and they didn't have Beachbody over there then. And so I downloaded it and I started it. And I did day 1. I did the fit test. I almost died, but I survived. And I realized immediately, okay, I did that. I can do this. Like immediately my self-esteem started going up. Day 2 came along. I was super sore, but I needed to focus on something. So I made myself do the second workout with no fitness level whatsoever, people. Like this was hard for me. But I noticed as I continued to do it over the next few days that I was already getting stronger and had more endurance and stamina. I was really, really shocked. But not only that, the fact that me who's like a professional quitter at everything. I try something and give up. I was sticking to this, and that was boosting my confidence and my self-belief. And the next thing you knew, 1 week had passed and I was seeing results, and I was like, wow, okay, this is actually working, and I'm feeling really good, like on the inside, everything, mentally, emotionally. So anyway, my journey progressed. I finished Insanity, and I went on to do a second round, 120 days straight, back to back. Got amazing results, but not only that, it was a transformation of what it did on the inside. It really changed me as a person. I really started to believe in myself as a person. It totally lifted me out of my depression. I felt empowered. We used to Skype and I'd be like, oh my God, I did Insanity. And he's like, can you stop talking about Insanity? I'm like, you have to do Insanity. So for me, I was just obsessed, addicted. I loved it. And suddenly I realized, okay, I get why all those people I see running outside and doing these sports, I get why they do it, because it makes them feel good on the inside, right? We have like these exterior things going on, like weight or wanting to be toned or build muscle, but really there's something more emotional and deeper going on there, isn't there? Our deep emotional why. There's truly something else at the base of all of that, at the core of all of it. And that was it for me. It got rid of my anxiety, my depression. It made me see my self-worth and that I could actually achieve something in life. And so I started screaming up from the rooftops, went back to the US, in shape, loved it, got on social media, and my coach found me. And she was basically like, you need to be a coach. You're doing what I do. You're telling everyone to do this. You're just not getting paid. And I was all like, oh, I don't know what it is, but okay, I'll do it. I was like literally the easiest sign up in the world. One of those people you pray for. I was like, okay, I'll do it. The reason why I said yes, though, was because I come back to the US. I just got a job. I was starting to fall into comfort zone of comfort eating, being happy with my hubby again, not really sticking to the results anymore. So I knew if I became a coach, I'd have to work out. So for me, it was completely about accountability. That's why I said yes. But of course, over time, our whys grow and change, as you may have noticed as well. Maybe some of you are new and you're still at your original why, which is great. Or if you're struggling to find it, dig deep and find it. Talk to your coach about finding out your why and working out what it is. But for the rest of you who've been around longer, more seasoned, you'll know that it grows and changes over time. And that's what happened with me. So there were two defining points for me really in my business. The first one was around 7 months into it. And the next one was about 1.5 years into it. It's my coach anniversary in 2 days. September 1st, that's when I'll be 4-year coach. But I don't feel like I'm that. I feel like I've been doing this for 2.5 years. Because at my 1.5 year mark, that's when I actually decided to really treat this like a business. Before that, I was kind of like going around in circles, whatever, trying to work it all out. So for me, I feel like my serious results that I have now, being a 5-star diamond and all that, it only took like 2.5 years in my mind. So let's reverse up. Signed up, accountability, first defining moment. Okay, so I became a coach. At this point, I was working full-time in retail, minimum wage. It was in Whole Foods Market, so it was great. I loved the environment, really fun place to work, amazing people. But it's still, at the end of the day, retail, service industry. Every second person you talk to gives you crap and takes their mood out on you. It's very hard to deal with sometimes. You have to just eat a lot of stuff. Also, it is minimum wage. It's full-time. If someone doesn't come in on your day off, who gets called in to take over for them? You. Or, it's inventory night. We all have to stay like all throughout midnight and count stuff on the shelves, all that stuff. I found myself asking, do I really want to be doing this for the rest of my life? Not that I would be destined to do that as such. We all have control over our destiny. But, from where I was at that moment in time, I didn't really see myself going anywhere else. And so I started really thinking about this coaching thing that I signed up to. And I saw on my team page, other people were starting to share these hairy, scary goals. One girl in particular I know who's a 2-time elite coach now, Natalie O'Leary. She's my friend. She had started putting out about wanting to quit her full-time corporate job. She was a baby coach back then too. We signed up at the same time. And I was like, dude, people quit their jobs over this? Like, I had no idea. Like, I really was clueless when I said yes. And so I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe if I match my full-time income from my job, then I can fire my boss too. So that became my new why of, okay, work the business a little bit every day. We'll eventually get there. And so that's what I did. I didn't rock it out the gate. I didn't hit Success Club in the first month. It took me 3 months to do it. I didn't get to Emerald on the first month either. It took me 4 months to do it. I had no network in the beginning. I literally knew my husband and our roommates And the people I was working with, I wasn't there that long. I wouldn't classify this as knowing anyone whatsoever. I really didn't know anyone, guys. I kill all of those excuses of not knowing anyone. Like, I seriously do. Every time I hear it from someone, I just laugh and I'm like, no, I came from a different country. Okay. Seriously. I built myself on social media, and we all have this gift of social media where there's millions of people out there. Deborah said that in my call last night as well. We can reach people so easily just by connecting with them and finding things in common, which is where I'm going to go with this and what I'm really going to share about tonight. But yes, anyway, I didn't have a lot of time. I was working full time. I didn't know a lot of people. So I really had to be consistent with building my business in the beginning. I did this really through spending a little bit of time every day on social media, finding people and putting them into a free group, and us just all keeping each other accountable. At this point in the game, I wasn't even trying to get them in a challenge group or anything like that, or on a challenge pack. I just needed to build relationships. It purely was building from scratch. I wasn't going to go and invite people right away who I literally did not know. And we'll get there too in this, because I'm going to teach you how to bridge that gap between new friend and invite. Being a full-time professional whole fooder, whatever. I guess you could say shoppers or professional whole fooders too. I really only had about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day to build my business. That was it. This wasn't like I was putting hours and hours every day. I would get up a little earlier in the morning. I would do about 30 minutes, 45 minutes before I left for work. On my break, which was 15 minutes and 30 minutes, I would work. I was just always on my phone. And then whenever I came home, I would do like another maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And that's how my day worked. I fit it around my job. I made it fit around my family and so on, but I worked. It wasn't tons of hours, but it was consistent, and it built up over time. By the time it came to 7 months, I matched my income, and I was like, see ya! And I took off, and that's whenever I became a full-time coach. Now, why that 7-month mark was a defining moment, that was kind of the reason, but the real reason was that was Team Cup. Ta-da! So, Deborah, I love that you were just talking about that, because for me, Team Cup changed my business completely. And the same for that coach I was talking about, Natalie O'Leary. We went into the same Team Cup team together. So my coach must have saw something in me. At this point, I was barely hitting Success Club 5 every month. I was hitting it. It was a struggle. It never truly gets easy. You're always trying to hit it. You know, it's not like just people fall out of the sky and stuff like that, and you're like, great. But it was hard at that stage. But my coach saw something, and she invited me to her team. And she was just basically like, look, I want people who are going to go all in here. You're not going to get shamed or, shunned or anything like that if you don't get any points, but I want you to try. I want you guys to go for this. I'm like, sure, why not? What do we got to lose, right? So 2 weeks leading up to that Team Cup, I just decided if I'm going to go balls to the wall here, I need to really up my numbers. I need to connect with way more people. So I spent 2 solid weeks just finding people, just finding them and building relationships with them. That's all I was doing. I wasn't even inviting them. I was building relationships with people every single day, knowing that when that month struck, the Team Cup month, I was going to invite the heck out of all of them to my challenge group. And that's exactly what we all did in that group. And from someone who was barely hitting Success Club 5, never hit Success Club 10, I don't even think I hit 6. I closed out that month at 34 points. That's freaking huge. That's huge. If you had told me that I could do that before I did it, I would have laughed my ass off at you. By the way, I swear, I'm sorry if anyone's offended, but I'm Irish and, unapologetically me. But we did, and I wasn't the only one in the group. All those other girls who joined at the same time as me, they all did roughly the same points. We actually closed out at joint first in Team Cup. And I say joint first because they did a tiebreaker and made us third, but we actually were joint first place. And it was absolutely amazing. We were just like, whoa, mind blown. So why this was such a defining, monumental moment was because for me, I truly believe Team Cup shows you your potential. If you don't make a conscious decision at some point in this business to just give yourself a set amount of time, whether it's a month or something, you just say, you know what, I'm going to go all in and see what I'm really, really capable of here. You have to give yourself that chance and really go for it and not slack on it. And for us, we just went for it for 1 solid month. And I found myself saying, right, if I can do this month, why can't I do 34 points the next month? Why can't I do more? What is stopping me? I went diamond that month. All the other girls in our group went diamond. We saw so much in ourselves that we never saw before. So if you're on a Team Cup or, some of you guys just got shouted out there for rocking it out, well done, because I bet you're really looking at yourselves and you're like, we didn't think we could do that. As Deborah just said, you probably didn't think you could do it. And now you're seeing what you're capable of. And you're probably capable of more. For those of you that didn't get on a Team Cup team, you know for next time, you have to give yourself that chance to see what you're made of. It doesn't matter if you don't get any points or anything like that. As long as you just put yourself in there and give yourself that chance. If you don't, you're just holding yourself back and you'll never know what you're made of. I would have never known I was capable of doing such a thing. I'd probably still be here to this day struggling to hit Success Club 5 and just maybe even giving up. Who knows? Give yourself that chance. Okay. Another defining moment in that month was I happened to get pregnant. So when my business was getting like this, it suddenly went, right? So that's why the rest of that time I was kind of going around in circles and not really working my business. I'm one of those coaches that you hate to sign up and they get pregnant and they just go, I'm stepping back. But I really did. I just stepped back. I wanted to have this peaceful little pregnancy and no stress. I was keeping up with Success Club, but I really wasn't doing anything. My diamond crumbled. It all got really bad. It was not good. But my baby was due in December, and I was like, you know what? This is like really significant to me. Baby's going to be popped out at the end of December. Let's start January. Like, let's go for this. Let's start a clean slate. And for me, January 2014 is the beginning of my career for me. I got my baby out of me, and I decided, right, I have a new why all of a sudden. This why started brewing when I was about 7 months pregnant. I don't want to go back to retail with a child. I want to be at home. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And honestly, with my husband's salary, we could have stayed home. I could have stayed home fine. But I'm one of those people that likes to contribute. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and still contributing to the family. My why suddenly shifted again to, I want to be making a significant income here. I want to contribute to the family. Maybe even retire my husband. Who knows, right? Which came a lot faster than we expected. So January happened. I went from seriously crumbled, really weak discount diamond, like the worst scenario ever kind of thing, closed out that year 2-star premier. And that was rebuilding from scratch because, again, I made a decision. I just decided to go all in. And that's what you guys have to do. It's very much beliefs and decisions here, which you're starting to see in my story. That was also when my child was 5 months old, 5 weeks old, I should say. That's when my husband got let go from his job. And that's why we ended up retiring him because he came home one day. We had a 5-week-old child. He just walked in. I'm like, what are you doing here? And he's like, I got let go. That's like the worst news you can get when you've just had a brand new baby. So we decided in that moment, okay, you stay home for a while, do unemployment while you're looking for your job. But by the time he was actually getting offered a job, we had matched the income. So we just said, you know what, honey, don't go home. This is working for us. You look after the baby. I'll run the business. Woohoo! And that's how we continued it ever since. Closed out a 2-star premier again just last year 2015, 5-star. Every year there's bigger and bigger milestones being achieved. No, I'm not rocketing like crazy. I went 2-star and then 5-star in the space of a year, and there's a bigger goal this year of 10-star. But the point is, it's setting those goals and just going for them. You don't have to go like
I put them in. Just be careful about know if these work. Okay, I'm leaving.
Bye. We good? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get to the point here, and you guys are like, shut up, Irish girl, get on with it. So I want to talk about how I found people in the beginning, how I find people now, which is probably more relevant in the beginning, so I'll actually skip that part, and how I build relationships. So how I find people. The best thing you guys can do, especially as newer coaches, is really utilize your Facebook personal page, right? Like pages are great. I use a like page now. The last year or so, I've been really building that and running with that. But I've been here 4 years. I have lived off my personal page for 3 years for someone who didn't even know anyone, right? So you guys have a rich network right there. Even if you have 200, 300 people in your personal page, every single one of those people is a doorway to like another 200, 300 people. Okay? You have a lot of people you can connect with there. So 3 ways I recommend to find people. 1, friend request. 2, like page. Not going to get into that because that is just heavy duty. Look up Jesse Reagan's like page training if you want to check that out. 3, groups. So I'm going to skip over the first 2 really fast. Friend requesting is just very basic. It's something Melanie Mitchell talks about a lot, which she did in the beginning. She would just literally look at who Facebook's recommending to friend. Or she would look up like old friends from school, and then she may see that there's like someone else that she recognizes or a friend in common. And she'll literally just send them a friend request and be like, hey, oh my gosh, she used to hang out with my friend. How are you doing? She just built relationships that way through through acquaintances. So you have, like I said, there's such a rich network there. There's so many doorways from people you know to people you don't quite know. You can build so many doorways by just friend requesting people you kind of know of but aren't like friends with. I'm going to talk about groups. And I think this is probably the best one because you can really dial in to who you're looking for to suit who you are and your brand, your avatar, so to speak. You need to know, first of all, who you are for a start, okay? So look at who you are. If you guys are new, you're probably like, what are you talking about? So I'm a mom. I'm very hippie, spiritual, airy-fairy, into law of attraction. I'm also into like holistic healing. I'm from Ireland. There's like really standout things that define me from like a lot of other people. You have things also. Some people have their faith. Some people aren't parents. Some people love skydiving. Some people love cooking. Some people like love cloth diapering. Whatever the things you're into that makes you you. Like I do angel card readings, guys. I do all that sort of crazy stuff, right? That really dials me into a specific crowd. Look at who you are and you know who you want to be connecting with. They're your ideal audience. So what I do is I go find groups of those like-minded people. I feel one of the mistakes we make in the beginning is we'll go off to Facebook groups and we'll look up fitness groups, fitness pages, right? And I'm not saying that's a super mistake, but a lot of other coaches are doing that. And they'll go into those groups and they spam them, and basically no one ever wants to hear the word Beachbody. Like, they hate Beachbody coaches. They're like, get out, don't talk to us, blah, 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 blah. Just don't really go there, honestly. Do yourself a favor and go to groups of your interests. So for me, I'm in a page called Lightworkers of the World, right? And there's like 90,000 people in there, and I don't really see any other Beachbody coaches in there. And so for me, great. I'm surrounded by my niche, or niche, whatever you want to call it. But the key is here, guys. Don't go in and start being all like, hey, who wants to join my challenge group? None of that stuff. No, 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 no. You want to add value. This is how you're going to make real friends here. So first thing you can do in a brand new group, you can't repeat this. It's only something you can do once. Introduce yourself to the group. So I go in, I take a photo, and I post it in the page. I'm like, hey guys, I'm new to this group. My name's Ashleen. I'm a mom of a toddler, and I'm looking to connect with other like-minded moms of toddlers. Send me a friend request if you'd like to connect. I just say something like that. I describe who I am, who I'm looking for, and I'm just introducing myself. You have no idea. I literally got hundreds of friend requests by doing that in that one group. Granted, some were guys, and I was like, you're not a mom, but the majority of people are sane and normal in a Lightworker group. Okay, I retract that statement. Point is, really great idea to do. Go into a group of whatever you're into. And you can do this with multiple groups. Introduce yourself. Get people to like you, to friend you, to connect with you. Obviously, you can go in there. You can comment on other people's posts, show interest, talk with them. Commenting on people's stuff is a great way to get them interested, because the whole goal here is for you to be interested, not be interesting. So just talk to people. If someone posts like a picture of their baby in like a cloth diapering group, make a comment. Be like, oh my gosh, your baby's so cute. Like, how old is he? Never just leave a blank statement. This is another big mistake that you can do when you're commenting on people's stuff. And it's the same when inviting. To keep control of a conversation at all times, never just throw out statements. Always end it with a question to get them to come back to you. If not, you're going to be sitting there like a stalker, or they might just give you a big fat like, and you're like, well, was that conversation killed, right? That's the worst feeling ever. So have conversations with people in groups, right? It doesn't all have to be about your posts. One other thing I do, which I find is most effective, if you've dialed in on who you are, you should be sharing that in your social media, right? So you're making posts about your family, making posts about your faith, making posts about whatever it is, cloth diapering. For me, I realized one day I was sharing on my page something about crystals, or I don't know what it was. And I was like, you know what? Those people in that group, they would probably really benefit from the knowledge I'm sharing in this post. I took my post, I shared it, boom, and put it into that group. And I said, hey guys, just if anyone wants to know any information about this, I thought I would share it with you. I shared value into that page about something those people are really interested in. One, it got them all commenting on my post and talking, and we were all like building a relationship together. And whenever you get to that point, you can actually say, hey, like, let's connect. Like, we really get along. Let's friend request. There you go. That's how you friend request without being like, I don't know you. But two, it got people coming and checking out my page because I shared it from my page, right? So that's what you do. Share value. Share something that's going to actually bring education. And let them know about something that they love. Share it from your page or whatever it is, but share it in those groups. Oh, sorry, Jenna, you're yawning. It must be really boring. Sorry. Okay, so that's groups. I found that extremely effective. That's what I was doing for like my first 3 years, just going into groups, making friends, sharing value, and connecting with people there. And they've turned into some of my best coaches. You know, you can also do things like in the beginning, what I did was I did free, ongoing free challenge groups. So now you see like, you know, 5-day clean eating, 7-day clean eating, stuff like that. Don't knock those groups. Those groups are still great. You're giving people free value. Like they're coming, they're checking it out. You're investing in them. You're giving them your time. You're helping them achieve goals. That is a great way to build relationships with people, to get them to eventually maybe want to join your paid challenge. Whether they do it immediately or not, they'll remember that you helped them for free. That's what I actually did in the beginning to make friends. Remember I told you guys I had a group. I just loaded people in there. All I did was like, we would do like squats one day and we'd do a load of burpees and we'd post all sorts of like fitness motivation quotes and we'd check in with each other. That's all we did in that ongoing group. But that built the relationships to the point where I could start using those people to invite, and they were so happy to join the challenges. Of course, a lot of them said no, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Okay, so how I actually take it from the friend request, they're saying yes, we're accepting friends. How do I take it from that to the actual invite? There's that little awkward gap, really, really awkward. So first of all, whenever they initially accept the friend request or they send it and I accept it, never let that just go. Always talk to them right away, even if it's just a quick thank you if you don't have time. Like, hey, thanks for connecting. So excited. I'm really looking forward to our relationship growing, or whatever it is. Or ask them a question. I tend to ask, like, where are you from? Of course, we could go to their page. We could find out, but who cares? Like, just ask them. People love to talk about themselves. Ask them questions, right? People just love to talk about their dogs and their kids or whatever it is. So if you can like find out what's going on with them, they have kids in their profile photo, ask about their kids. But immediately, as soon as you accept that friend request, spark up a little bit of conversation. You know what's the worst feeling in the world, right? Whenever you're going through your invites for the day and you go to send someone an invite and you open up the message and you realize there being zero conversation between you guys ever, and you're just like, how can I send this person an invite? There's like no conversation ever. Right, to avoid that, just everyone you add, always say something. Get that conversation going a little bit. You never know. You guys might go from literally just talking about life to actually getting around to fitness, and maybe even being comfortable enough to say to them straight up, hey, like I actually did a post just the other day about a challenge group's coming up. Do you want to like check it out? Like I've got some information. If you feel comfortable enough, you could do that, but not overly my recommendation on the first day, right? This is the first date. You know the rules. You don't necessarily ask for stuff on the first date, right? Certain things you do and certain things you don't. It's very much intuition led. It's led by the heart when it comes to when are you going to invite. But how you can bridge that gap to make it more comfortable. Day one's gone. You guys have like did your little small talk. How are you? Where are you from? Blah, blah, blah. Now you have to find a way to keep communicating with this person so the relationship is strengthened that bit, so that when you invite, you're on a friendly basis, right? They're not going to see it as Sally or you wanting them. They're going to see you just reaching out as a friend, being like, hey, by the way, I have this group coming up. Like, would you be interested? And so I do it with this method that we have. It's actually by Janelle Summers. We nicknamed it on my team the CCQ. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, but it's how we bridge the gap anyway. So basically, it's about making a list of the people you friend. So if you friended 10 people today, you got your list. Tomorrow, who are you going to relationship build with them? Who are you going to relationship build with, I should say? You're going to relationship build with those 10 people, but the next day. So what I do is I've got a little list. Who am I going to CCQ? Oh, okay, all those people I friended yesterday. Pen and paper girl, right? I've converted to Teamsy, but it's the same idea, so I'll go into this. It's what you would call a connect. So you take that list of brand new people and you go to their Facebook page, you find a post that interests you, and you comment on it, compliment, ask a question. That's a CCQ. So a lot of people go into lazy mode here when building a relationship, and they just go and they comment on their post, cute kid. What did we just discover about statements? There's no power in there. They're not really going to reply. They might be like, thanks, or like, and you're like, oh, I want to talk to you. I want to build our relationship. CCQ. You're making a comment. Always throw in a compliment and ask a question. So you see a picture of their kids, you're going on the comment on their post, do a little compliment about how cute the kid is, and then ask, okay, like, wow, she is like growing up so fast. is she starting like first grade? Like, what the heck? Ask questions about what's going on. Or I saw your daughter like started first grade last week. How are you feeling about that? Do you have mixed emotions? Ask a question. Get them coming back and talking to you. And just there on that post, just chit chat like normal friends, normal people do, right? Like your best friend who you're not trying to get to join a challenge group, just like a normal person. You just come on and you comment on their stuff, or like your brother or sister or someone. That's all you do. Back and forth conversation. They're going to see that you care so much that you came to their page, which is a big deal, because at the end of the day, you are projecting yourself as someone who is successful in health and fitness or personal growth or whatever it is. People look up to you. So the fact that you're coming to their page and showing them some time, they're going to be like seeing that as such a compliment right away that you stopped and gave them the time of day. So that's a big deal. CCQ them. Now, how long you keep this up for is up to you. Maybe you want to go back and do it once a week. Maybe someone needs months before you get to the point where you feel comfortable with an invite. Maybe you can do it later the same week. It's all intuition, guys. There will always be an element of discomfort, right? When it comes to inviting, that's not the same as your intuition telling you, no, they're not ready. You'll always feel a little bit uncomfortable. But if you feel like you guys have chatted enough, that it would be friendly enough to say, hey girl, I've got this challenge coming up next week. Would you be interested? Or whatever way you guys use your scripting. If you feel that it's going to come across as pretty friendly, do it. If you feel like, no, I really haven't talked to them enough, give it a little bit more time to relationship build with the CCQ. But it's that simple. It's just giving them the time of day, going on and showing you're interested rather than being interesting. Also, an even quicker way that you could do that, do any of you guys like make personalized lists, like a personalized news feed on Facebook? So basically you can go and get your friends and you can put them into a list so that you have your regular news feed, but then you actually have a news feed of like just your prospects. So what I do is every time I make a new friend, I add them to this one list. So I can avoid my news feed completely, which is just like a load of people talking about politics and things like that and burning flags, right? And I have this one that's just full of prospects. What's the one that's going to be most productive to spend time in? All I do is I just go through that newsfeed, CCQ in that post, CCQ in that post, CCQ, and you can get it done in like 10, 15 minutes, a whole load of people. Even if you decided to devote 20 minutes, 30 minutes of that a day, that's going to be so beneficial for you. So get into the habit of making lists, putting those prospects together so you actually have a newsfeed for just people that you're forming. So that would be a big tip that I would do. But again, when it comes to bridging the gap, it's all about following your intuition. As long as you know you're building that relationship, you're good. If you see that you're going to invite and there's no conversation ever, go back to the start CCQing them, right? That's it. But, it's not too good to go in straight up cold spamming or whatever you want to call it, cold messaging. It works the odd time, but most of the time people are just like, go away, freak. So I wouldn't necessarily do it. But that's my tips on really how I did that. But one other thing I just want to talk about really fast, just to close out, is when it comes to inviting, especially when you're a newer coach, and I've seen it in my team, is that people are a little bit nervous about going forward and inviting people. They feel like they're a burden when they're talking to someone else, like, oh, I have to invite this person. Oh, what are they going to think of me? Or it's all like doom and gloom and like you want them. There's this horrible, like icky feeling, right? You guys need to stop that, right? So when it comes to what you do, always remember that you are a coach, right? Yes, you do make some money from this, but why did you even choose Beachbody in the first place? Why did you say yes to becoming a coach? It's because you fell in love with a solution. Something worked for you in your life, and you just started sharing it like crazy. It changed something in your life for the better. So, with that in mind, why would you not want to pay that forward to someone else, give someone else that chance for them to be able to do something good for themselves in their lives? Always remember that whenever you're inviting. Sit down and take a few minutes and say to yourself, whose life am I going to change today? Whose life am I going to impact for the better today? You're really doing them, your followers, a disservice if you're picking and choosing who to invite. If you're getting judgmental and you're like, I'm going to invite them, or I'm not going to invite them, I'm either too scared or they will say no or whatever. When you do that, it's a disservice. Our job is not to pick and choose. Our job is to just present the information to everyone and let them know what's available and let them decide yes or no. When they say no or no, not now or whatever, it's nothing personal. It's nothing against you. It's like literally choosing between McDonald's or Burger King. Like, some people love one, some people love the other. It's nothing personal. They're just more drawn to one thing. Not everyone will love this. Not everyone will want to try this. But a lot of people who originally say no, they come around over time too. I have a girl who just messaged me 2 weeks ago who was in my original group, and I mean the original 4 years ago group, and she decided to come forward about, I'm interested in your challenge. I watched your journey. Can you also tell me about coaching? I'm like, whoa, like, so they do still watch. Sometimes they're just not in the right place. It's not the right time, whatever it is. Don't give up on them. Keep them on your list. Do keep inviting. Do keep that relationship and friendship going no matter what. And do always give them that value. And know that you're offering something life-changing and amazing. And it's a freaking honor to be invited by you, right? You're not harassing them or annoying them. Yeah, you go, girl. Right. That's my American stuff. Right. But it really, really is. It's an honor to be invited by you. And by the way, guys, if you're getting scared before inviting, they are 10 times more scared of coming forward to you. That's a fact. As I said, you're projecting something on your page. Look at my workouts. Look what I'm doing. This was like Ashleen, like 7 years ago. He used to go to the gym and see all the people in the gym and freak out and run. That's probably how they feel about us, right? They're seeing this person who's doing it, who's getting results, and they're like, I'm not going to come forward. Like, they're going to totally judge me. Right? That's what they're going to think. Even though you're saying clear as day, I'm looking for anyone. 3 people, just come. Right? They're still going to think, well, she's probably going to laugh at me. Or she's going to think, oh, well, not you. I wasn't talking to you. They're afraid to come forward to you guys. They really are. So you got to be the brave one and go ahead and reach out to them, because it's going to be such a compliment to them. And even though some of them may ignore or whatever, it doesn't mean that you didn't plant a seed. You have something amazing to offer. Just as you fell in love with it, so many people out there will also, by you just sharing it unconditionally with everyone. So that's basically where I want to close it out. But does anyone have any questions at all? Did you even understand my Irish accent and my lightning speed talking?
Yes, you're very easy to understand. I like the CCQ, and I've heard that before, and I have it in my notes, and I haven't really used it. But, you know, with Team Z, that's a great thing to do, because I make the new friend, add them, do my, hey, thanks for the ad, and I can immediately set them for a follow-up the next day to go CPQ them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I do now, actually. So I was originally using this. Per Little Book's been abandoned for the last few months since I went to Team Z. But basically, I don't know if you can see, but there's like yellow dividers in there. So the first section is new contacts. The second section says CCQ. So I've moved them over to there. The next section is like invites, and the last one is follow-ups. But then Team Z really had that down. I was like, oh, wow, this is like the same thing. Yeah. Great. And they have it that one step further, because, you know, they call it connects and stuff. So Team Z is on it with this system. But definitely just taking that time to go and give that person 2 seconds of your time on their page is going to really come back to you guys.
And then you'll start showing up on their newsfeed too.
Yes. That was the other thing I meant to say, actually. Your affinity goes up. The more you're chatting with them, like, the more you're going to show up on their newsfeeds. So it's all win, 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 win.
I think this is really key information, because I always have said that you build your business on who you get to know tomorrow, not on who you know today. And you have a great example of that. And, you know, that the challenge I think some coaches face is, well, they're out there friend requesting these people, but then what do I do with them? And I used to be that person. I would friend request all these people, and I would never even send them a message to say, hey, thanks for the ad. That was just like this light bulb moment that occurred, I think, sometime last year. I mean, I'm a slow learner, apparently. But no, it's like, you know, I have all these friends, and what am I doing with them? So, you know, taking a few moments to nurture that relationship a little long. And that way, like you said, then when you send that invite, as we talked about, you know, don't filter anybody out, it will seem, you know, less invasive, perhaps, you know, since they've had somewhat of a conversation with you.
Right. Exactly. I believe we have a question over here. Hi, Andrew. All right, it says, how do you approach those with which you've built a relationship and they have shown gung-ho interest all up until you send them to your page to get their challenge pack, and then you can that happened to me like twice today. I have no answer to that. It sucks, but what you can do is you're like, okay, you know, I have like a 3-time follow-up rule kind of thing where you can check in and be like, hey, just want to check and make sure, like, did you place your order? Because I don't see it on my end. Want to make sure it all went through okay for you, aka did you freaking order, right? So I do that. If I'm still not hearing anything, I give them like 2 or so days, check back in. Is everything okay? Do you have any questions? Second thoughts? You know, you can let me know either way. I'm very open with them when I say either way at this point, because I don't want to pressure them. Clearly they're rethinking it. And then the 3rd time is just kind of like a bless and release of, hey, you know, I'm here if you change your mind or if you want to reach out or want to do a future challenge, just leave it all friendly. Because I actually finally hit my freaking Success Club today. I took a couple of weeks off because my husband had surgery this month. But I hit it today with a girl who actually did the same thing about 6 months ago, and I hadn't heard squat from her until yesterday. I furiously followed up yesterday like a maniac, and she was the one that came through today. So I was like, whoa, where did that come from? So you just never know. Again, probably not the right place and time or whatever, but she actually said at the end of it, thank you for not giving up on me. And I made a joke about being a stalker, and she was like, well, your stalkerness is good. Yeah. So just always be there. Just don't be like, why aren't you answering? You know, which we would love to do, but we can't.
Yeah, that's great. That happens all the time. Teams is great for that too. Send a link, follow up tomorrow, follow up the next day, and then, like you said, after about 3 times of no response, it's like, you know, good luck. You know, I'm here for you the next time. You know, whatever. So, anybody else have any other questions? I'm trying to look at my list. I liked your suggestion for adding value in groups. I've kind of gotten away from joining groups. But when I was a newer coach, groups was where it was at for me. I mean, I met so many people in the groups that I was in. And even on like pages, like Shape Magazine and Women's Health and things like that. I would just kind of go stalk those pages and creep around and, you know, comment on posts and things like that. And I actually got quite a bit of new business from that. But I've kind of gotten away from groups because I've in so many. Right? But I mean, that just kind of spurred my imagination to start looking for some different groups, not fitness related at all, but yeah, ones that have no coaches in them. Look at the members and say, okay, I have no friends in here. So it's a perfect place.
You know what? They show up everywhere. I actually saw one show up in that light worker group, and she did the typical thing of, hey, I'm a coach, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, crickets, she got crickets because it was just, you know, she did the Sally thing. She was obviously brand new and made the rookie mistake that we all do. But whenever you're just there building the connections, like the people will come to you because they can see that you're not acting desperate and you do care about giving them value and you want to help them. And that's so crucial because that's what this job is about. You're wanting to help them get results, right? Yes, we want to make commission and stuff like that, but we do want to help them get results. So they need to see that first and foremost and build that trust. A little flashback there, by the way, about going to pages. I originally found my people on the Sean T page, right? That's where I used to hang out back in the day because people would ask questions like, hey, Sean, blah, blah, blah. And of course, Sean doesn't answer, but Ashleen does. So I would like pop up and get a conversation going on. And then all the coaches start jumping on and it was crazy and it was awful. And they eventually shut that stuff down. Yeah. I did that for the first year. That's where I made friends with people. I was like, hey, I got a free group over here with people who do insanity. Do you want to join? And I moved them in my free group.
I met a lot of people on Beachbody pages originally too, and you're right. I mean, you aren't allowed to do that anymore. So don't think everyone's going to go. I don't even know if you can. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, I mean, it just got really creepy, and I know I was never creepy about it, but there were definitely people that it was just scary. Somebody asked, how do you allocate time for checking in with your groups? And that's a really great question. So you join all these groups. Now, are you setting aside time in your power hour to deliberately go into those groups? Because you surely don't want to get notifications for all these new groups.
Yeah, so I actually set that aside a little bit from my power hour such. I mean, I guess I would consider it a little bit of it. It's more like an extracurricular part of the power hour. So this is something I hadn't mastered until this January. So I had no time management. I was really scattered. I literally did this job 24/7. And I kind of lost my mind at the end of last Christmas whenever I missed Elite by 2 freaking points, right? I got the 5-star. I was just like, I wasn't crushed by the Elite. I was crushed by how much energy I put in. And then I actually got really sick from the stress because I literally neglected my family all over the holidays to achieve this goal, which I didn't even achieve anyway. And I got very ill all throughout January, and I realized, right, I need to change something here. I was scared to go back into the business again and neglect my family. I mean, my husband was home with the D word. It was that bad. It was like, this can't happen. So I had to make a schedule. I had to make a timetable. And so I started doing Ashleen Johnson's 30-day push, where I worked out what my priorities were for a start. And then I started reading a book called Miracle Morning for Network Marketers. Mm-hmm. Please read it. It's really good about teaching you time management, how to start your day right. We actually use it for our new coaches now because it just teaches them so much fundamentals in the beginning. But anyway, I set out strict work hours now. I do like 5 hours a day, and 2 hours of that is what I would call a double power hour. It's literally like 30 minutes of inviting, 30 minutes of relationship building, 30 minutes of inviting, 30 minutes of follow-ups or whatever. Somewhere in that time, though, about 15 minutes or so, that's where I would go during the relationship building. I would go to groups. I will check in with my groups. I will go to other groups, and I will relationship build. So I do see that as a crucial part of the power hour. I have the invites, relationship building, not invites, new friends, relationship building, so connects, if you want to call it that, invites, and follow-ups. That would be how I would make up the quadrants of my power hour personally.
I think it's very important that you are managing your time in the groups, not letting the groups manage you, because I hear coaches say, oh, I'm in so many groups and I'm so overwhelmed with all these groups. Well, then stop the madness.
Yeah.
I put the groups that I want to see in my favorites on my Facebook page, and you can take time to go into those groups when you have set aside that time to do that.
Right.
You don't have to have notifications turned on for every group, unless you're on Team Dare to Dream, and you should have my notifications turned on.
Exactly. I have that part of my power hour, and then I have a little 15-minute check-in in the afternoon and a 15-minute check-in in the evening. And that's the only time I allow myself to go into groups and relationship build and answer questions and stuff like that. I do what I can. I have a set amount of people I want to talk to or answer people, but I literally do it for a set amount of time and then get out again. They're not going to die if you don't answer them in 5 seconds.
Hey, did you see that the Miracle Morning for Network Marketers has a new 90-day action plan?
Yes, I believe the one I had that, I think. Or
it's new. It's not out yet, though. He just sent out an email today saying that you could get on his pre-launch list, and then you could, when it launches on Amazon.
Well, maybe he was talking about it in the book then.
Yeah. So anyway, so definitely. Yeah, the Miracle Morning for Network Marketers helped me a lot too. And what I really learned from that is your Miracle Morning, it can look different for everybody. Mm-hmm. Because all those examples that he gave in the book, because when I read the first book, The Miracle Morning, I'm like, oh, it has to be just like this. And that kind of was like, But then when I read the second one, I'm like, okay, I can have a miracle morning, and it can be a little different than the next person. So it is very helpful.
Yeah, you can tweak it for you. And it's almost very much written for us. He's even so into fitness and stuff. He makes part of his miracle morning working out. I'm like, hello. That's part of our vital behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jen Arias just did a comment about friending, and I do that too, Jen. Sometimes I'll find that I never even said, hey, thanks for the ad, and I'm ready, so definitely. Well, we are at almost an hour, so I want to be considerate of everyone's time. I know it's late on the East Coast, so thank you so much for joining us tonight, Ashleen, and thank you everyone for getting on live. It's always so much more engaging whenever people do that. And if you have any questions about relationship building, we can continue the conversation in our team pages. But otherwise, thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. And also do a quick smile because I'm going to do a screenshot. Yes, I'm nerdy like that.
Yes, I already posted a screenshot. Yes.
Oh, you did? Oh, she's ahead. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thank you for being here. Bye.